Welcome to the Insurance Producers Podcast, where we bring you the top personalized producers, insurance agents, and industry partners, giving you at least 3 takeaways to 10x your production and build your multi-million-dollar revenue books. So sit back, relax, and become inspired by the success stories and strategies of the world's top insurance minds. Let's roll. All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Insurance Producers Podcast. Hey, man, you guys are going to want to listen to this, man. I've got a special guest here from all the way from Miami, Florida, and I know these guys have had a couple of crazy months in the last couple of months with the hurricanes. But Mike Pinto, man, welcome. How you doing, bud?
Thanks for having me, Cyrus. Just happy to be here and happy to showcase any value to the audience. So happy to help any way I can.
That's awesome, man. This Pinto Agency, man, in Miami, Florida, are doing some amazing things on the independent channel, man. I want to highlight you, man. I want people to know who you are, and a lot of people already know who you are. You guys got some cool stuff happening that we'll dig deep into as well, if people are interested. But I want to go back, man. I want to just really quick, 30 seconds, 1 minute. How did you get into the independent agency, and then we'll go to the structure of your agency.
Yeah, so, born and raised here in Miami, Florida. I come from a very large family. We're 8 siblings, 7 brothers and 1 sister. Both my parents immigrated here from Cuba when they were kids. And my dad, he ended up, working in the insurance industry. And it was a grind. And, he was able to kind of build his own version of, that American dream, right? Especially from like an immigrant perspective. So, luckily, we grew up in a very humble household. There's always food on the table, and it was a very stable living. And, as I got older, I worked in the agency. I learned the business. And as I got older, I saw a lot of other players in the industry really taking it to levels that we had never experienced, at that short period in my career. And, with that, straight out of high school, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So never went to college. My brother and I partnered. We launched our agency, and it's been history ever since.
Dude, that is awesome that you got your brother with you, man. I did not know that. That's pretty awesome. I work with my right-hand person is my president of operations. It's my brother, Ahmad Jaffery. My left-hand person who runs all of our sales organization is Bobby Jaffery. And then on the service side, customer experience side, I have my sister, Saman. So 4 people, man, from my household internally. I had a large family as well, just like you, 8 of us, and 4 of them work with me, which is, man, it's so fun working with your siblings, man.
Yeah, I love it. So my brother John and I, we own the agency together, and I actually have 3 of my younger brothers working for us as producers. So, same boat, man.
That's cool. That's awesome, man. So, dude, let's get out of the whole humbleness, man. Pinto Agency are doing things, man, that a lot of people are not doing, and almost their goal is going to be to 100 million in premium in the next year or this year, maybe. I'm pretty close to it, but he's not gonna say it, so I'm going to say it. So let's talk about it, man. This podcast is all going to be about, hey, how do you get there? How do you go from every insurance agency in America on the independent side being at that 5-10 million mark, and they kind of get stuck there, right? Like, it's really difficult for a lot of agencies to kind of pass that 10 million mark, the 1 million in revenue mark, to where you kind of go on to the next level. And for you guys to be able to do that in a short amount of time, in 9-10 years, I believe. So I don't want you to give me a secret, because there's no secret other than this friggin' hard work and leading people, right? So tell me about the transition, man. So like, you started 9-10 years ago, you had a couple of employees, and where has that developed in the last 10 years?
Yeah. So, Cyrus, and I'm sure you can account to this as well. What gets you to 5 million isn't essentially what's going to get you to 10. And what gets you to 10 is not going to get you to 25. And that 25, that jump from 25 to 50, I'd say that was probably the most aggressive jump that we experienced. So, I learned this from a mentor that I worked with throughout my career. So many people, especially I feel like in the insurance space, like, you get caught in the weeds, and like, it's hard work every step, every day of your career. We all work hard, whether you have a small agency or a huge agency. It's safe to say we're all putting in a ton of time and effort. But one thing that he taught me was to always view your agency and view your operation from a bird's eye perspective. And that really will allow you to see the things that need improvement and the little pivots and changes that you need to make along the way. So, also, and trial and error, man, we've wasted millions of dollars on trial and error. There's been times that I'm with my brother at night, drinking a bottle of scotch, and we come up with this awesome idea. And at the time it sounds amazing. And then like 75 grand later and 3 months of hard work, absolute failure. Mm-hmm. So, just trial and error, a lot of grit, and, just never being satisfied and always reaching for more. We celebrate our wins, all the new milestones. We celebrate, we go out and have a good time. But guess what? That next day, we're back at it, reaching for that next milestone. So, it's a mixture of things, but we've always made pivots and changes. We've never been stubborn. When we're doing something that doesn't work, we don't blame the industry. We don't blame our surroundings. We blame ourselves, make the necessary changes, and hit it again.
And you're in a tough market, man. I want that point that out, right? Like, you're in a very tough market, man. It's not easy to write business in the state of Florida. It's pretty tough, right? So you're maneuvering that on top of all the expectations that comes with an agency like yours, with how many people that are inside of your organization, right? So that's pretty impressive, man. Talk to me about the market, man, in Florida. How's that been in the last year or two?
So, all I know is the Florida market. This is where I've spent my entire career. And in a way, it's a blessing and a curse, because there's so many new people that come into this market and they fail. Mm-hmm. And we have so much experience doing this. We know the market inside out. All of our deals they come from referral partners. So mm-hmm. I spend a lot of my time, energy, and money marketing to mortgage brokers, realtors, mm-hmm. title agencies, pretty much mm-hmm. anyone in the real estate world. Mm-hmm. And that's how we generate our business. And, when you win over your business that way, there's a tight time frame, things got to be done yesterday all mm-hmm. the time. And, you got to be able to provide a smooth experience for these people. So not only could they get the policy, but so that they could close on time and you make everyone look good. So that alone, just building that reputation here in our community, we've kind of become the go-to insurance agency for anything, real estate related. And that's been huge for us. But, like you said, the beginning stages, you go learning, right? Mm-hmm. So like, if you look at my operation 10 years ago compared to my operation today, it'd be like LeBron playing basketball in Little League. It's completely evolved.
Against his son?
Against his son, exactly. So,
dude, I love that, man. I love that, dude. That's cool. I want to go back to the fundamentals, man. This podcast is about what can we give the people some meat and potatoes that they can take to their agency to differentiate themselves, right? So talk to me about growing your team, man. If an agency owner is listening to it, he's got 2 or 3 team members, aspirations to have, right? All these things. And then we'll go into the real estate and mortgage and how you develop some of those leads if people are interested. But how did you develop your team to go from where you were to where you are now?
Definitely, man. So it's funny. I'll touch base on it because I actually recorded a video yesterday, in relation to this. So I had someone reach out to me, and the reason for their call was regarding hiring and recruiting. Mm. And anytime anyone reaches out to me about hiring and recruiting, I usually like to dig a little deeper and kind of just find out about their operation, because recruiting is a beast in its own. Mm-hmm. If you're going to go out there and recruit, it's a lot easier said than done. And you don't want to ruin the potential of a good potential candidate without having all this, the proper systems, trainings, and, things in place to really get them past that learning curve and, transition from a rookie to a rock star insurance agent. So the first thing I would say is really dialing in and making sure that you have a really detailed sales process, a uniform sales process that everyone in your agency follows. Your managers manage to it. They pull up their chair and shadow them, make sure they're checking off all the boxes, make sure that they're capturing full wallet share, make sure that they're going for the close. If they're not getting the close, make sure they're at least scheduling the next steps. Because our goal is to either qualify or disqualify the client as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. And so many people will just turn their wheels over and over mm-hmm. and over again, chasing a deal that they have no business ever closing. Mm-hmm. So really just dialing in on your sales process, making sure that your team is bought in on it and following it. For us, which is not your traditional, method of gaining business, but all of our deals come from, mortgage brokers and realtors. So All of my new agents spend at least an hour a day cold calling mortgage brokers and realtors. They spend 2 days on the street out there knocking on cold doors, trying to, create something out of nothing. Here in Miami, we're very fortunate that we have networking events taking place multiple times a week. I have someone in my office that their job is just to find all of these different events and blast them out to my team on a weekly basis so that they can reserve and see who's going to what. And then also me being able to provide them with the financial assistance to get in front of all of these people and make the most out of their efforts. And, that's a beast in it of its own as well. I spent a lot of money on marketing, but it's always paid back tenfold. You meet a good group of guys, you start talking about golf or something. We have a membership at a really nice club here in Miami. All it takes is for him to walk in my office. Hey, Mike, I met these 3 guys that set up a foursome. Bam, I pay for it on me. They have no idea that I'm doing that. In their mind, they're like, wow, look at this young kid reaching out to me, setting this up, setting up happy hours, in-office trainings. On the weekend, I'll have guys go stop by open houses, bring a bottle of champagne and some goodies just to show extra support. And all of these different expectations and actions that we put our agents through, that really fast tracks their success. I pay all my guys a base pay, and then they have commission splits. They're entitled to the higher of the two. So essentially I pay them 50 grand. You divide that by 12, it's 4166. So they're all hustling so that their commission can be worth more than 4166. Now they're earning commission. So these guys are on fire trying to do it. All of the people around them, or at least someone around them, is earning the type of money that they're chasing. So it's not like a fairy tale that we're pitching these guys. Like, their coworkers and the guys sitting right next to them are earning the type of money that they're chasing. So it's just a big investment into the team. It's a big investment into your marketing and making sure that you have all the systems and processes in place to manage to it correctly.
That makes sense, man. Because if you don't have the systems and processes, you bring people in, man, they're going to be lost. And you're not going to be able to grow if you don't have those systems and processes in place, man. We have a lot in common, man, because 95% of our business comes from a mortgage lender or a real estate agent in the state of Nebraska. And that's really all we've done for the last 10, 11 years that I've been in the industry. So my question to you is on that piece of it, right? So how do you keep, because biggest issue I run into is, are we going to be able to keep the team accountable into doing the things we want? Because at the end of the day, pretty easy. At the end of the year, they come to me, they say, I want to make 200,000. Beautiful. I know exactly how many calls. I know exactly how many mortgage lenders. I know exactly how many real estate agents on a daily basis that you need to touch base with for you to make 200,000. I know my closing ratio. I know everybody else's closing ratio. I can tell you however much money you want to make, put it in the formula. And I've got big screens that tells me exactly where they're at for their goal. So my question to you is, how do you keep people accountable on a daily basis to where they don't forget the fundamentals on a daily basis? Do you?
So, it varies. I have a very tenured team. I got a couple guys in my office. They're going to scrape 400 grand this year. These guys have massive books of business. Like one of the guys, the one individual in specific that's, earning that income, he's got a $13 million book of business.
Nice.
This guy has now earned the freedom to pretty much do whatever he wants. Granted, we don't work remote. Everyone here shows up to the office every day, but he's got a ton of flexibility. He wants to go on vacation, has to take off early. He doesn't have to ask permission, and he's earned that right. There's nothing I'm going to say to that guy. If he wants to earn more and he wants to make some pivots and changes to the way that he operates, I'm all ears. Let's sit down. Let's, put together a game plan on how we're going to get you to $500,000 this year. We have those conversations with people on a, daily to weekly basis. But the new guys, we're not as flexible because we understand that very early on, we need to create these habits. And if you don't manage to it correctly, you're going to lose, they're not going to fit into the culture. I didn't create this compensation model to have people still making the minimum after their first 12 months. If you're still earning the minimum after a year, chances are you're not going to work out. 100%. And we break it down into a science. All these new hires, they have a month-to-month revenue marker or quota that they're chasing. If there's any 2 months in a row that any new hire misses their quota, we sit down, we have a one-on-one with them. And if it's because they're not sticking to the plan, sticking to the sales process, sticking to the systems that we have in place, they go onto a performance improvement plan. And that's their last month to make it happen. If they don't hit their quota that month and they can't show that they have the potential to do it the right way, I'm not saying you can't go sell insurance somewhere else and be successful, but you're not going to sell insurance here and be successful.
Dude, that's massive. That's massive. Okay, so that's going to be the biggest issue for a lot of agencies, right? Is basically getting the right people in there and then keeping them, right? A lot of people would tell me, dude, I had a guy that was amazing, built up to 5 million book, and then he's gone because he's like, I could do it. Like, how do you keep those tenured people, man? What's your suggestion? What would you share with people that want to keep those people for a very long time? What would be one or two things that you do on a daily basis to keep them?
Invest into your people. I lost a ton of money early on. Granted, thank God we're at a place now where there's an influx of cash and we're able to, explore and do different things. But even early on, I always reinvested all of my money into my people. So in my agency, your clubs are dependent. Your splits are dependent on whatever club you qualify for. And that club, you're not locked in for life. So you're locked in for 6 months. Every 6 months, you get reevaluated. And when you hit a club for the first time, you're entitled to a very generous bonus. Our highest club is a platinum club. Anyone that hits our platinum club, we gift them a Rolex. They're invited to all of our agency trips. We do incentives throughout the year. Like this year, we went to the Bahamas once. There's a really nice resort here in South Florida called the Boca. We did an incentive there. Right now, I have another incentive throughout the rest of this year that we're going to take the team to New York in January. So, I don't know if you feel the same, but at least with our culture, I don't feel like anyone in my agency has a passion for selling insurance. Like they're not waking up in the morning and saying, I can't wait to sell insurance today. But I do feel that they enjoy coming to the office. They enjoy the camaraderie. They enjoy the brotherhood. They've created friendships here that have, lasted a lifetime. And I think that's what keeps people bought in. And not to mention, when I hire people, I tell them, listen, you're not changing the world selling insurance policies. If you're one of those people that, you want to dedicate all of your time to, making a difference, this may not be the job for you. Granted, you have the opportunity to earn a very, very, generous living. And with that, you can go contribute to anything that you feel passionate about. But the day-to-day operation, you're not changing the world selling insurance policies. So, I'm looking for financially driven people. I'm looking for people that fit in the culture. I've had plenty of people in the past that are amazing salespeople, but they just didn't fit in the culture. And I always hold that at number one. If you don't fit in the culture and you're going to be cancerous to our culture, I don't have any room for that here.
Dude, culture eats strategy for breakfast, man. That says on all of our shirts and everything, man. Culture is one of the biggest things you could do, man. And I've been watching a lot of your videos and stuff and your teams. And dude, I love that everybody's there, man. Everybody talks about remote work and everything, man, but there's nothing like bringing people together, man. We just got into a 10,000 square feet, man, state-of-the-art building because we wanted to create an environment. People come in. It's more like a tech company. There's little spots people could go to and remote work, take your laptop or go to your office. So,
yeah, I came across the video, man. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And you kind of have the same setup, right? Obviously yours is a little bit different, more open concept from what I saw, right? You got but people are right there, man. And there's no better thing than energy, man, of it's almost like, I don't want to call it like a call center, but you're almost in that environment where you're next to the other person. When that person is making calls, there's no reason you're going to sit around and not make calls because that energy kind of goes to you as well, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, yeah, it's a very open floor plan. And then, just having, especially the tenured agents that lead by example, having those guys bought in has been huge for us because, for example, right now I'm back here in the corner doing a podcast with you. I got 30 guys out there selling and I got tenured experienced agents right in the mix of everyone and they're listening all day. If a new guy gets off the phone, didn't cross sell or didn't ask for a referral or missed something, he's going to call him out on it, tell him to get back on the phone and, take full advantage of that opportunity. And it's great. They listen to me as well. A lot of these guys come to me for guidance and help, but it's a little bit different when it's coming from a coworker who's just looking out,
100%. What's the structure look like between you and your brother, man? Are you more of the sales guy? He's more operational. What's that kind of look like?
Yeah, you nailed it. So I've always my strength has always been in marketing and sales.
Okay.
When we started the agency, we had $0, zero plan, and it kind of just naturally led this way. My brother's always been amazing with the calculator, amazing with Excel, very good business mind
Mm.
as far as operations and just kind of big picture stuff. And then I've always been the guy like on the ground, selling policies, recruiting new agents, just going through the weeds and building up the day-to-day operation. So, we're partners. We work together. We work right, across from each other. The other side of this wall, that's his office.
Mm.
So I feel like it's a very healthy medium. All the things that I thrive at are the things that he struggles with and vice versa. So that's kind of how the partnership goes.
Dude, that's awesome to have that person, man. That's pretty cool that you've got that. Dude, how cool is it for you guys to get together for like holidays and stuff with the family, man, with everybody kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys talk about work and stuff like at Thanksgiving or Christmas and stuff?
All we do is talk about work.
Yeah.
Kind of gets to the next thing. Like, I
Yeah.
think in order for you to be successful, or if you have very aggressive dreams or very aggressive goals, it takes being obsessed.
Hmm.
Like, we are obsessed with our mission, and the people here that have been promoted, that are executives of the company with us, they have that same mindset. My
Hmm.
brother and I own this agency, and our three executives in the company are not my three other brothers. They're
Hmm.
three employees that started with us from day one, that have
Hmm.
proven day in and day out that they are as equally obsessed with our mission as we are.
Hmm.
We're a merit-based company. Just because your last name Pinto doesn't mean that you're going to get that
Hmm.
promotion or you're going to get some type of gravy train. I can care
Hmm.
less who you are or where you came from, man.
Hmm.
This is a merit-based operation 100%.
Dude, I love that. I love that. I want to talk about what you guys are obviously doing as far as I feel like you guys are the change makers in the industry, man. And a lot of people need to hear from you guys on the systems and processes and the culture that you guys have built. And it's really cool, man. I aspire to those people, man, that are doing those things because it's good for our industry. Because our industry is very old school, as you know. Super boring, man. When you think of insurance agents, you don't think of like the Pinto agency or the Jaffery Insurance with the office and the culture and the fun and all the stuff that we are doing. A lot of other agents are doing that. I'm not saying that, but for majority of people, it is not that way, man. So I love to see people like you changing the industry because, dude, it is honestly one of the best industries in the world.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, over the last 10 years, um, we're part of a very large franchise, and we are the largest in the entire company. And with that, not a day goes by that I don't have someone sending me a text, sending me an email, sending me a Facebook or Instagram message or a voicemail, just asking for help and guidance. Like, if I got $1 for every time someone reached out to me with a question, I'd stop selling insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to engage with all of these people when I'm working this operation. I'm busy as it is, just running this agency. So with that, it's kind of, I'm not doing this for the money. I mean, granted, if we can make some money with it, great, but that's not the mission behind it. It's to add value to people, because we spent millions of dollars over the last 10 years figuring it out to get to where we are today. And if I had something like what we're putting together available to me back then, it would have been a no-brainer, and it would have saved us a ton of time and a ton of money.
100%.
So it's kind of a coaching and a mentorship program. We're going to dive deep into our sales process, our sales management, the different metrics that we track and the different metrics that we manage. So bind rate, policies per new account, average revenue per policy, lead flow, marketing plans, marketing strategy. How often are you doing these actions? Where are you having success? And really tailoring it to the individual, because there's some guys that they will absolutely kill it with the cold calling. And then they get out there and they do their in-person marketing and they struggle with it, and
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. But to get to that point, you got to throw everyone into the fire and let them be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Let them spend a couple months putting in those daily actions so that we could really sit down, assess the results, and then double down on where they're seeing success. So the marketing is huge.
No, keep going, man. I want to hear more about.
Yeah, and then really the sales process, we didn't have a sales process for the longest time. We were just like, oh, you got a policy, you sold it, good job, pat on the back. That was the sales process.
Hmm.
Our cross sells were in the gutter.
Hmm.
I went from selling maybe 5 cross sales. So I consider a cross sell anything that's not homeowners insurance, because 99% of the leads that come in the door are looking for homeowners. So we would maybe sell about 5 cross sales a month. Now we're doing 300 to 500 cross sales a month. We
That's
would go from selling 500 policies a month to now we're selling 1,200 to 1,500 policies a month. And it's all because of the sales process that we put into place. These guys are required to follow it. Multiple times a day, your manager's going to pull up, hey, who are you working right now? All right, I'm going to pull up a chair, listen to that discovery call. All right, let me know when you're done running the quote so I could come back and listen to the solutions presented call. Let's make sure we get a verbal confirmation, close the deal, move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So getting everyone bought into that sales process, as far as our production goes, has been a game changer. And then a lot of people really lack the ability to budget and go through a financial forecast. And that's really is what has allowed us to grow and scale. My brother is very efficient with his budgeting. Our P&L is down to a T every single month. Our financial forecasting has been like 98% correct over the last 7 years. And with that, over the years, we always had a higher goal until you get to the point where there's just always money to hire. But that wasn't always the case. I remember going into 2019 and we're like, okay, we got enough money to hire 3, maybe 4 if they're good. And then the next year, maybe you tag on 1 or 2 agents. And then before you know it, you just keep rinsing and repeating that same process. But we always knew how much we can afford. We always had a target to hit. And we knew that if we hit our new business revenue numbers, we knew that the budget was going to be right in line with whatever it is, with wherever it is we needed it to be. So I'm a really big fan of the saying, operate like the business you aspire to be, not like the business you are today. And I feel like so many people just kind of wing their day to day because they themselves are a good insurance agent. They know how to sell policies. They know how to get it done. But now when you really want to start growing and scaling and taking it to that next level, they get lost. And a lot of them fail because they don't have that structure in place.
Dude, 100%. 100. I mean, those are the people that stay in that 5 to 10 million forever.
Yeah.
And they're just not going to be able to grow to get to 20. How do you go from 20 to 40? I'm sure you had the same thing. How do you go from 40 to 60, 60 to 80? And now you're trying to figure out how to get to the 100, right? Which is most likely your goal. And then,
so we just passed 92. And by the end of January, we'll be over 100 million.
100 million, man. That's
impressive. In January.
Do you know how many agencies in the country on the personal line side are over 100 million in premium? I would probably 1 hand, maybe 2 hands. I don't know.
Yeah,
you've done it organically. It's not like you've done acquisitions and stuff. You just bought stuff, right? Like you're not.
I've never even spent $1 on an internet lead.
Exactly.
$0 spent on internet leads. And, everyone has their own goals. We're not even 10% at our goal. Our goal is to build $1 billion agency. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're laser focused on. Granted, there's a lot of milestones that we'll hit along the way and we'll celebrate. But until we hit that billion, I'm not satisfied. And I'm sure our goal will change as we approach that goal, So
that's awesome.
At least that's what motivates us today.
Dude, I'll put my chips on you, man. I know for a fact you guys are going to be able to hit those. I'm curious on your sales process, man. Just a little bit that you could give these people that you potentially will talk about in the in your thing that you're putting together. Your sales process. What I discovered was you got a discovery call, you got a lead, you do the discovery call, and then you present a solution from that discovery call. Hey, I got all this stuff I need. Here is what I think is a solution. And then it's I'm assuming it's either another call to where you end it or discovery call to the other one and then just close it right there.
So I'm not too familiar with the Nebraska market, but if I had to guess, in your market you probably have the ability to do 1 call closes.
Work on that all day.
So that's all we don't really have the opportunity to do that because in order for us to even run a quote, we need inspections. It's a little bit more of a lengthy process.
Got it.
So we have our discovery call, and my reason and as simple as it sounds, right? Discovery call. It's not like I'm creating some special ingredient here, right?
Correct.
Everybody's heard of a discovery call. but you'd be amazed how many people send out quotes and they don't even ever get on the phone. An email comes in with a lead, and then an email goes out with some quotes, and then they cross their fingers and hope for the best. Like, that's a terrible way to operate. If you operate that way, I guarantee you your bind rate is in the gutter unless you have the best referral partners in the world that sell it for you, and you're not building any rapport with the client. In Florida, a lot of the product is pretty cookie cutter. Like pretty much anywhere you go, you're going to get offered the same product. So the product isn't what sells. Like you yourself and the agency is what sells. That's the determining factor. So all of my agents are required to get on the phone for a discovery call prior to even getting started on the quotes. And this has been huge because even if they go get quotes from someone else, they just had a 15-minute call with someone on my team going over the discovery, collecting all the information for the home, auto, flood, etc. Then maybe an hour later, they got back on the phone with that individual for a 30-minute phone call to review all the options. Now they have put a voice behind the name. They built rapport with them. If I had to guess, they like them a bit. And now they go get quotes from another agent just because they want to compare. And they see that they're more or less the same options that I just, provided them. They're not going to go through that whole hassle of doing that again with someone else. At that point, we won the deal.
It's a relationship business. You had a better relationship.
And, we're capturing full wallet share. So many people focus just on the need that the client is reaching out to you, but not taking into consideration their entire portfolio. If they're buying a house, chances are they have a car. And, with that, you could build off of it. Does it have a hitch? Great. What do you pull on it? All right. You need insurance on that too? Leading questions that get people talking, getting people engaged, congratulate them, make them feel good. We have a sales coach here. And one thing that he has really taught us that I think has been very beneficial to us are the different personality types that you're going to deal with when it comes to sales. Because before you get on the phone, you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who you're dealing with. And he breaks it down by birds, which I thought was genius. So there's parrots. Parrots they're very colorful. They love it when you talk to them. They want to make you laugh. They're the life of the party. The bird is a very easy person to get going. You want to congratulate them, make them feel good about themselves, make them pluck their feathers out, A parrot is probably one of the easiest clients to sell to. Then there's the eagle. The eagle, he doesn't care about your sales pitch. He cares about the product. There's no amount of fluff you could throw into that pitch that's going to make the eagle bite. The product itself is what makes the eagle bite. So the second you're dealing with an eagle, you're not going to give them the same pitch that you'd be giving to the parrot, giving them all that fluff. That person, you're going to give them exactly what they want. Cut straight to the chase, and either you win it or you don't. There's not much you could say to cover that gap. Then we got the owl. The owl, they sit up high in their tree and they watch everything. They're very analytical. For them, the numbers make sense. There's no ego, there's no emotion. It just has to make sense. So, when you ask the leading questions and you find out what type of personality you're dealing with. And then we have the dove. The dove just wants to be liked by everyone. They're going to be very agreeable. To them, in your mind, you may think the conversation's going great because you're just agreeing with everything you say. But the second you get off the phone, you might have killed it. You may have no business closing that deal. So he dives into it. We have a whole training about it. It's about a 2-hour long presentation on asking leading questions to find out what type of personality you're dealing with. But in a nutshell, we cater our approach based on our audience and who we're talking to.
Dude, I love that mentality. I was just hanging out with one of our sales guys. I'm picking one guy a week that I'm trying to spend some time with because our closing ratio has gone down, and I'm really curious on why. Because I don't write business anymore. So we're writing a lot of monoline policies because it's really difficult right now with the carriers in Nebraska to be able to combine stuff, and I'm having a hard time understanding it. So I said, you know what, let's get down into it. And I got into it, and I was like, dude, your job is literally to get a yes or a no the fastest you can. Because dude, like if this person's not going to go with you, like why are you wasting time calling them 3 times? Like get a yes or a no. That's your job the fastest you can, and then move on. Dude, personal lines is more transactional than it's ever been. I'm not saying there's no relationship to it, man. Relationship will help you close a lot more deals, but it's going to become more and more transactional as the Gen Zs and the millennials and all these people, man. They want to just get in the
100%. From a consumer aspect, it's extremely transactional.
Yes.
Yeah, it just helps, if they are purchasing a house, it comes referred by the mortgage broker that they trusted or realtor. It's a great intro for us. And that's where I dedicate my time and energy on the referral partner side.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do any marketing to clients. Granted, while we have them on the phone, we always ask for referrals.
Of
Maybe it
course.
turns into something, maybe it doesn't. But my focus has always been on the referral partner side, never on the client side.
That's awesome. I always say, man, my client is actually the real estate agents and mortgage officers, because with those, I can do 10 clients a month from them versus the other way around, man. I can maybe get one or two client referrals, maybe.
Yeah.
Why not chase the ones that really matter, dude? Oh, man, we could talk forever, man. I want you to. I know we're running out of time here, man. I want you to talk about your program, man, and where can people get some more information and all that stuff, and then we'll put it in the notes as well, of course, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, so I mean, we're launching on Black Friday. It's a course. The course consists of 6 chapters. Each chapter has between 3 and 6 lessons, and it really covers everything we spoke about. So we have a whole chapter dedicated to sales, sales process, sales management, an entire chapter dedicated just to marketing strategy and marketing plans. We have an entire chapter dedicated to creating a winning culture and what goes into that. It's easier said than done. We have an entire module that goes straight into budgeting and forecasting and how to do it correctly. We have an entire chapter going over our compensation model, our bonus compensation model, what goes into that. Our training, all of our agents go through our in-house 2-week training curriculum prior to even starting. We really dive deep into that. And then, with that, obviously in the course, we go into detail on each of those topics. We really paint the picture for you. And then it also includes a bunch of blueprints and cheat sheets for everything that we do on our day to day. So our comp plan, our bonus structure, sales process, marketing plan. We even put together budgets and financial forecasting tools for you to plug in your own numbers so that you can go ahead and start forecasting and setting goals for your agency in the upcoming year. So we really dumped a ton of time and resources. Honestly, it took so much more work than I anticipated. I thought it would maybe be a month or two of work, and it's been daily efforts to get us to this point. But we feel really good about it. We already have over 500 people signed up on the wait list. I believe I sent you a text with the link. So
Yep.
feel free to drop that here in the message section. And
Awesome.
there's the best way to start. We roll it out Black Friday weekend. If you click that link, you will receive an email back. That email is going to ask you to send me an email with your 3 top struggles. And if you give me 24 to 48 hours, I personally respond to that email with, what we will be covering in regards to your concerns and how we think it'll help you.
Love it. Love it. Beautiful, man. That's awesome, man, that you guys are actually sharing the stuff that you guys are doing with other people, and you're like, hey, man, we can make the industry better by sharing. We can make other agencies better, and it's your way of giving back. And I don't ever expect you to do that for free. I don't ever expect you to do that, because honestly, free stuff never turns out. Nothing is free in life, and if it is, it's not enough, or if it's not good enough for me, if that makes sense. So I appreciate what you're doing, man. For people that are interested, man, what we'll do is we'll put it in the link for you. If for some reason they don't see it, is there a website, or can they just email you?
So if you go, you could email me at support@ninefigure.net and email me there. I'll send you the link. Or if you have any questions, our sales page with all of the information on the different packages and the different things that you can expect, that'll be up and live by next week. So we'll start blasting that out. But any questions you have, you can email me at support@ninefigure.net.
That's awesome, Mike, dude. Great job, man. Keep doing what you're doing, my man. And if I'm in Miami, man, we're going golfing.
Hell yeah, man. You're always welcome. Cyrus, thank you so much for having me.
All right, appreciate you, man.
All right. Have a good one.